Warning, viewer discretion. This is not a video about unboxing and demonstrating a product, nor is this a video about green beans or corn. Over the course of the past year, I've received multiple reports from multiple people about mysterious events, mysterious sightings, mysterious experiences, and potentially a very mysterious creature, all at one mysterious place. So many reports have come in that I've finally decided to take the time and investigate myself. If you've got the courage to continue forward with this video, I'm taking you with me. Let's go. Oh, I'm going to need the camera. Okay guys, so to save us time, I'm going to give you the backstory of where we're going and why we're going there while we're on the way. I'm on an old country back road here, one lane dirt road. We're going to do some fishing today because that's where our story takes place. I first heard of the story about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, and it was told to me by someone that I trust very much. And I mentioned in the opening of the video that there has been a series of strange events. That's because my friend has experienced strange events here several times. And he's had a witness with him, and recently, as in about a month ago, 6 weeks at the most, I met his witness. And so there's more credibility to this story than there was even before. I believed my friend because I know he's believe-worthy, he's trustworthy, but it's now been backed up, not through the telling of the story, but through my verification of a trustworthy person. That person is the one that was with him. So here's the deal. There's a stream where my friend and his buddy that I met this summer fish quite often. I've fished there a couple of times, but never as far up as my friend has. And we're going to do that today. That's the main part of this video. So my friend told me that over a series of 3 or 4, maybe 5 trips on this stream, they kept finding very strange things, and then they witnessed one very odd experience, one very odd event. So they would be walking in the stream. It's predominantly a bass stream, largemouth, smallmouth, but there are some trout in it, from where private landowners that live here in our part of Central Virginia will stock the streams that flow on their properties with trout, and then they just end up making their way up and down the stream off of those folks' property. Now, trout supposedly are not supposed to last through the summer here because it is so hot, but they do. There's some 5-pound trout in here that have been in here for years. They get really big. They find deep holes of water where it's cool on the bottom, and they're able to withstand the summers, and they survive. So hopefully we hook into one of those today. I'm going to be fly fishing. But anyway, the first time, they're wading up the middle of the stream. In the middle of the stream, there's a rock, and on that rock is a pair of perfectly folded women's jeans and a perfectly folded woman's shirt. And so they're like, there must be a woman up in here, and she's either wading or swimming in the water, like in her underwear, potentially nude, or maybe she wore a bikini or bathing suit under her clothes. They had not seen a woman on the way up the stream, and they continued to fish past that point for maybe 200 or 300 yards, which is a long way when you're wading in a stream. They never ran into anybody. I mean, a woman or anyone else. So they couldn't understand why those clothes were there. And they thought, well, maybe she ran off onto the bank and hid when she saw him coming. They go back another time, and just past that, they're wading in the stream, they're fishing their way upstream, and they find a wallet, like a perfectly good wallet. It was not weathered. It appeared as if it had not been rained on or anything, and it had a woman's driver's license in it. It had credit cards, a little bit of cash. Okay, and they took it, and this would have been March, April, May. It was springtime. They were going after the trout that they knew were in there. So they took the wallet, and when they left, they went to the address that was listed on the wallet. I've got something going down the wrong way. And they knocked on the door, and a man answered the door. And so they said, "Hey, sir, sorry to bother you, but we found this while we were fishing." And they gave the man the wallet. Well, he opened it up, and he said, "Huh." He said, "This is my ex-wife." And he said, your ex-wife? And they said, yeah. He says, I'll take it, and if I ever see her or hear from her, I'll give it to her, but she and I are not in communication anymore. And so they left the wallet with the guy, and they just thought, man, that is weird. Guys, I hate to show, I would love to show you the scenery around me because it is so beautiful. Where I live is gorgeous. I mean, I mountain bike and run through here, but I don't want to give away my location because I don't want to have all the Bigfoot Sasquatch people that stomp around and disrespect people's properties and disrespect him, her, it, or they out here tramping around looking for what I'm hoping to get on camera today. Gosh, this is beautiful. I love living here. I'll tell you, every morning when I wake up, I feel blessed. I mean, I know there's a heaven because I live there. I'm already there. Sometimes I think I got dispatched in Iraq or Mindanao, southern Philippines when I was down there, and this is my heaven. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So anyway, they just thought that was odd. So they found a wallet of a woman who is incognito. So they go back. And the guy had a story too, as far as what his estranged spouse had told him about the wallet. She claimed to have lost it the previous summer while horseback riding. And as you can see, we're in horse country. You see all these fences? It's because there's let me tell you, there are horses behind these fences that cost more than my house and property. And we're knocking on the door of $1 million on our property. There are Kentucky Derby thoroughbred breeders, like we already passed one of their houses. So anyway, gosh, this is gorgeous. So it's plausible. Yeah, this is horse country. But here's what doesn't make sense. If she lost that wallet like 9 months before my buddy and his buddy found it, why is it sitting on a rock in the middle of a stream in perfect condition? I mean, he said it looked like it had just been pulled out of somebody's pants pocket. So this was just strange, right? So now here's the strangest event of all. They were out here fishing one day, and they were about 50 yards apart. My friend was up front. He was ahead of his buddy. When all of a sudden, he heard something cracking. It sounded like a tree was breaking. There was no wind. It was a perfectly clear, sunny day. He looks over, and he sees a mature poplar tree, probably 120 feet tall, just fall over. Now, it wasn't uprooted. It didn't fall from the roots. It hadn't, the roots hadn't been super saturated with rain or whatnot. It was broken at about 6 feet high, and he says when that thing fell, he saw something standing behind that tree. A tall, dark, he said furry figure that had to be 8 feet tall, and it turned around and took off running. So he said he very calmly walked down to meet up with his buddy, which was, like I said, 50 yards below him on the stream. And he said to him, he says, do not panic, do not act scared, but we have to get the F out of here right now. And his friend was like, what? It was a tree fall. I saw the top of it land in the river. He says, you didn't see what I saw. I'll tell you about it when we get back to the vehicles. So they turned around, they slowly walked for about 100 yards. And he said once they made their way around the next bend and they knew they were out of sight of whatever it was he saw, they took off running. And they ran until they got to the car. And that's when he told his friend what he had seen. So this past summer, my friend ironically was having a get-together at his house. I'm going to go park up here. There's a car here. It's a woman that walks every morning. I just saw her. She's a wonderful woman. I talk to her a lot when I'm out cycling and running. So anyway, I met the guy, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get down here and start hiking up the river and see if we can find him, her, it, or they. I'd never met the guy until this summer. When I did meet him, he was a couple things I'm going to tell you here. And only people who know me and know these people will know who this guy is. Actually, only this guy and that guy, my friend and his friend will know that I'm talking about them because my other friends haven't met the other guy. I trust the guy. I spent about 2 hours with him. We never talked about these events, but we talked about everything else under the sun. I like this guy. I like him a lot. And listen, I met his wife. She was a very incredibly impressive young woman. They're in their mid to late 20s, as is my friend. This woman works in law enforcement, and she has for nearly a decade. She knows how to spot a liar, and her husband ain't one. So when I met that guy and my soul told me this is a credible person, this is somebody that I would trust and believe, and somebody that I do trust and believe like I do my friend, I said to myself, first opportunity I get, I got to go where they have had these experiences. And folks, that's where we are now. Let's get out of the truck and let's start fishing and let's see what we may or may not see. Get my 6. There it is. I knew you were missing it. So listen, folks, I'm just gonna, as I work my way up and or down the stream, I'm gonna set the camera up and record. I know it's gonna be tempting to focus on me and my fly fishing expertise, but focus on the background. Watch for him, her, it, or they. Watch for movement. Shout out to my buddy Tim. He's a gentleman that I coach flag football with in the spring. He came to our house this past spring when we were having our postseason team camp out. And while the kids were fishing in the pond, he broke out his fly rod to fly fish. And I thought, you know, I used to do that all the time because I used to. More than 20 years ago, I used to fly fish as if it were my job. And I hadn't done it in 20 years, you know. I spent 10 years living overseas, just never got back into it. So, and excuse the noise, we are starting under a bridge. I went on Amazon, got a cheapy fly fishing kit for 70 bucks, I think. Came with flies that don't even look like anything that's indigenous to my part of the world. Went out once and actually caught a 12-inch long rainbow trout. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. So anyway, we're going to get to it. Again, watch the backdrop. And hopefully we catch some fish as well. Rather than trees. There's a tree limb right here I got to watch out for. Well, it's not the big one, but it is a fish. Let's try a little bit down this way. Now, FYI, it's always better to fish upstream because the fish face upstream, because then they can just kind of hover there and let the water flow through their gills effortlessly to get oxygen. So this is more challenging, but we're going to give it a try. Because we're not necessarily after fish anyway. You got a good view of some forest here. All right, so I've walked up the stream quite a ways. Now listen, a lot of folks will ask in the comment section, what does get my six mean? It means get my back. It's military terminology. Watch behind me. Again, I'm going to be focusing on fishing and using my other senses to see if I can hear strange things going around me. I'm going to be listening to my spidey senses. Is the hair on my arm standing up? Now you can still hear cars. We're a considerable distance away from the bridge. However, noise travels when you're out in the woods like this, and the road goes along this river the whole way. So I'm not going to be able to stop cars from going by. You will hear the noise, but listen, think about all the people that see Bigfoot Sasquatches when they're just out driving on a highway or they're out on a backcountry road. Number one, they're animals. They're creatures, and we're animals. I'm not trying to degrade them. Don't get triggered, Gen Z. Don't go all Gen Z on me, okay? We need water. We're 80% or more water. So that's why they're often seen at roadways. They're crossing, trying to get water. So you've got, over on this side, there's a bank that goes up the mountain. And this is very close to where my friend saw the tree pushed over. And then, of course, the road runs up the other side. So watch around me. I did change flies. I got something that at least looks like maybe a moth I've seen around here. Hopefully we do a little bit better with that. and hopefully I don't fall in the river. Trying not to make ripples. I think I just ended up making more. Well, I can certainly see that fly on the top of the water a lot better. The little brook trout. All right, we've moved up to the next hole. I'm going to set the camera up here. Caught one little brook trout there. It looked native to me, so let me tell you, nothing tells the truth like a fly rod. You'll catch stuff on a fly rod with dry flies that you won't catch with spinning tackle, regular bait. But I want to point out here, we have tracks. See them? I'm going to say black bear tracks. They're big, almost as big as him, her, it, or they tracks. But the difference is the spread of the stride. They're only a couple feet apart. So I'm thinking it's a black bear. Just gotta watch out for that as well. Again, as far as getting my 6 goes, and I'm gonna make sure this is trained more on the woods than it is the actual stream. Listen, if you guys are seeing anything, you're seeing movement, strange beans, put the timestamp. Say when you're seeing it so other folks can go back and look at it, either to confirm or deny, you know what I mean? So let's see if we can catch another fish, and you keep watching for him, her, it, or they. And FYI, if I do catch one big enough to eat, I will take it home and we'll throw it on the smoker. My beautiful bride, Dearly, AKA Giggly Girl, she loves trout. She had eaten it in the Philippines at restaurants before, but never fresh until just a couple of years ago here in Virginia. And she fell in love with it like most folks do who actually have the real thing fresh, caught right out of the stream. So if we can get one of them big 5-pounders, we'll take it home. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. Listen, I'll tell you about it when we get to the truck. Oh, my buddy was not wrong. A little better. Get my hand wet. Ooh, that's a bass. Got us a little bass, a largemouth bass. Guys, I tried to tell you what happened back there in the truck. Oh, come on now. But I couldn't get my heart rate to slow down enough. I'm still fishing. Here's a little baby bass. Get in there. So listen. I'm about 2 miles further upstream than where that just took place. My buddy's not wrong. So here's what happened. I went around that bend where I was fishing last because I don't know if you could tell or not from the distance, but as soon my first 2 or 3 casts, I missed something. So I fished there, had them spooked, but I saw something large jumping and hitting the top of the water right around that bend. So I didn't want to go back and get the camera. It was my hopes that I could just go up there, maybe catch whatever it was, come around the bend and show you one of those big 5-pound trout. But so I get up there, I start casting, and I hear what sounded like a tree knock. Classic tree knock, and it was not far away. It was probably 30 yards away, right off to my right. So I look over, and I see no movement. But then I hear 3 successive tree knocks, and I'm trying to pinpoint exactly where they're coming from. By the time I hear the third one, it was like, boom. Boom, boom. By the time I hear the third one, I had pinpointed it, and there was like a thicket of brambles. And in the middle of those brambles, and there was a big sycamore tree, which is common here. Well, here's one right here. They like to grow around water. Big sycamore coming up out of it. But right in the center, from where those knocks were coming from, I just saw black. And my first thought was, of course, black bear. We had just seen those black bear tracks on the riverbank. I showed them to you. But black bears do not knock on trees. Black bears do not have opposable thumbs. They cannot pick up sticks and bang on the side of a tree. One, typically, for those of you who are into cryptozoology and understand the language of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, tree knocks, one basically is like a locator. 3 is get the hell out of here. So I'm taking it as if he, she, it, or they said, hey, this is where I am. Once it realized, or she or he, or if there was more than one they, I'm looking around, I'm trying to figure out what I just heard. He, she, it, or they knew that he, she, it, or they got my attention. So then it's bam, bam, bam. You better get the hell out of here. That's exactly what I did. And again, and forgive me, it's getting a little humid. Wanted to tell you this in the truck as I drove away. Couldn't get my heart rate down enough. Kept stuttering. But once I was a good 2 miles away, and you're hearing that's not the same bridge, that's a different bridge. Guess what, folks? When there's rivers and streams, there's going to be bridges every few miles. I feel safe that I'm far enough away from what just happened to fish a little bit more. So I'm going to try to catch a big one because it's still early, though it is getting humid. So, but at the same time, I mean, who knows what else we might pick up. So I'm just going to keep on recording some footage. So keep watching. You never know. There could be more than one, him, her, it, or they. So stay tuned. That was a nice little bass. I'd like to catch mama or papa bass. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Whoa, what's this one? As soon as I threw it in there, isn't that beautiful? I tell you, I love fly fishing. What's this? This is a bluegill. Well, we had a little sweet hole here. We could just get some bigger fish up in here. Try again. Oh, I had another one. Yeah, this is a sweet spot here.